Greetings everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Weekly Challenges Guide. Now for those who are new to this series and watching for the first time, the Weekly Challenges are a set of 5 races that go live Thursday night, Friday morning, depending on your region. These usually consist of 4 races already in game that, depending on your progression, may need to be unlocked, alongside a 5th one called the Special Event that usually shows up for that particular week only. And the purpose of these guides is to give you an overview as to what these races offer, ranging from specific drivetrains, specific countries, and even specific makes or models. So, kicking things off this week, we have the European FR Challenge 550, 550 being the suggested performance points. It's a 3-lap race at Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit and requires a road car from Europe. They're basically one of the countries you see listed here. As long as it's got an FR drivetrain and it's from one of those, you are good to go. So, for the example I am going to demonstrate here, I'm going to use this Mercedes AMG GTR here that I've tuned to basically be a GT4 car. So, some quick tips here for this particular one. A wide arc and downshift into 3rd before turn 1. I feel that helps. Usually I found that to be very helpful. And watch the AI around the Dingle corners later on. They tend to brake quite a lot, so if you're going to overtake them, be mindful of that. Next, Japanese Clubman Cup 550. Again, 550 performance points being a suggestion. It's a 3-lap race at Tokyo Expressway South counterclockwise, so this circuit here. And you'll need a road car professionally tuned from Japan. Simple as that, really. And you can see some of the examples of what you could use there. Now, for this particular one, I'm going to use one of the more recent builds that I've done that I kind of completely forgot about, and that's this Nissan Z I have here. So, pretty quick tips here. 3rd gear around the dock section of this track, I found that to be the most effective there. A good amount of power to get around and still make it out of the corners there. 4th or 3rd around the final set of corners there. That's going to require you to carry some momentum and be very delicate with your steering input, but once you figure it out, you should fly around these cars in no time. Next, the World Touring Car 600. This is a 5-lap race around Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, and this requires a car with 600 performance points or less. So, you can see some of the examples right there. And of course, the car I am going to use for this example here, I'm going to use a car that I kind of built this year, but I kind of forgot all about in the midst of everything else. And in trying to figure out what fits, that's when I finally remembered it. So for this demonstration, I choose this Lexus LFA that I did, mimicking one of the Nürburgring 24-hour entries. So, quick tips for this one. 3rd gear for turn 2, I found this to be the perfect gear for it. Be mindful of the curbs and the S's there. They're kind of narrow there. It doesn't take much to put your wheel on the grass. And careful on exiting 10B. Seems to be very slippery depending on the car you use there, so be careful with your throttle input as you do. Next, the Group 1 Prototype Series. It's a 10-lap race with 8 times fuel use and 6 times tire wear at Suzuka circuit. Now, of course, you can see all the tires you could use there. 950 performance points or less. That is the hard limit for this one. Now, you don't have to use a Group 1 car. You could use something as long as it fits in there. For me, though, I'm going to use the car that worked for me just fine when I did the first time. That's this Toyota. Now, the quick tips for this one. A 1-stopper. Main strategy as usual. Short shifting. But here, take advantage of the S's for coasting. This will help a lot with fuel saving there and even conserving some of your hybrid energy if you're using a hybrid LP1 like I have with this TS050. But again, weather is random, so be careful and have inners or wets just in case it gets very bad for you. And finally, the special event featuring the Hyundai Elantra N1 make. It's a 4-lap race at the Red Bull Ring featuring none other than the Hyundai Elantra N. And of course, if you see it for the first time, weeks ago, then you pretty much already know what it's all about. This car here, so I'm going to use this one I've built, and we will set up on our way with this one. And as for the quickness for this race here at the Red Bull Ring, so take traction control off for better traction, I found that the front-wheel drive cars just seem to drive way better without it, and this one especially. Third gear into turn 1, that for some reason feels very effective, not sure why. And beware of the understeer in 6, 7, and 8. It seems like those corners in particular really exacerbate that. So that is it for this video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, whether you've just logged in or you haven't logged in quite some time. If you enjoyed these videos, then give it a like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell icon to be notified of these when they go up every Friday at 2. So, till next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.